wà bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí Ọlọ́run kó bá wa lọ́wọ́ sí.
نعمده ونستعينه ونستغفره اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وسلم adúpẹ́ ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run bá dáa jùlọ a ṣe àsàlátù mú ìṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run bá Nábì Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam akí àwọn president general wa fún Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria àti gbogbo àwọn concerns tí kárí gbogbo àwọn executives tí wọ́n di nǹkan ẹ̀ lọ tí kárí gbogbo àwọn jama lọ́kùnrin lóbìn gbogbo àwọn àlejò ọwátá ọlọ́bàlá ń jùlọ gbogbo tó ń ká buwá ti gbé ìrádìdé ọlọ́mọsáàjì kágúnlẹ̀ láyọ̀ Ọlọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ náà bàdá ń jùlọ gbogbo àwọn àjókòó yìí báyìí tọ́jú ọ̀kan nínú àwọn àjókòó tí fi ràn president wa Tinubu lọ́wọ́ àti gbogbo àwọn olórí wa Nàìjíríà ọlọ́mọsáàjì wọn ní àgbọ́yé Ọlọ́run dákun méjì wọn ṣubú ọbàdá ń jù Ọlọ́run bá a ṣàánú àti kárí ìlú tá a tún wá wá ibáyìí náà bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí gómìnà wa náà dákun sábà ṣàánú ọbàdá ń jù Ọlọ́run dákun ọbàdá ń jù Ọlọ́run ètò Sharia náà dákun sábà fi lélẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run kọ́ wá jẹ́ kí gbogbo oyè níbẹ̀ láyé àdìmọ̀ kíámà ọlọ́mọsá àṣàlẹ̀ sàrẹ̀ Ọlọ́run abẹ́lẹ́ wọn bá dáa ń jùlọ lórí gbogbo àwọn ilé ètò àti gbogbo àwọn ètò tí àbàbà ọba ṣe lónìí báyìí ọlọ́mọsá bá fi àlùbákà sí ìjà ìfàtí àkọ́kàn bismillahir rahmanir rahim alhamdulillahi alamin arrahmanir rahim maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdina siratal mustaqim siratal ladina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin amin sallallahu alaihi
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thank you very much for that opening prayer, Imam Abdulrazak, all the way from Oyo. Now we are going to have a recitation from the glorious Quran from our brother Sheikh Ismail Adiyatullah. Fadal.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Barakallahu fi. May Allah put barakah. Alhamdulillah. After the recitation from the glorious Quran, we are going to introduce our referred Sheikh, Imams, and the Islamic scholars that are here present. There are others who we are still expecting here, inshallah rahman. And don't forget, this press briefing is being transmitted live on the social media. First, on the introduction is Sheikh Adiyatullah Abdul Rashid, the President General, Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria. Ahlan wa sallam. Takbir. You are welcome, sir. And in absentia is Sheikh Abdul Rashid Mayaleke from Ogun State, the chairman concerned Yoruba Muslim scholars. Is not around, but is ably represented. I think they are going to give me the name. Also, Baba wa Dada tó jẹ́ pé a ti mọ̀ wọ́n all over the world, tó jẹ́ pé Queen Elizabeth tìlú èbó tó kú ní John, òun fún bàbá ní award fún àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìgbésẹ̀ tí wọ́n ṣe fún ìlú òyìnbó, fún Islam in a very peaceful and intelligent manner, tí wọ́n fi fún wọn ní Oye Obihi, Order of British Empire. I'm talking about the former executive secretary of Muslim in the southwestern Nigeria, in person of Professor D.O.S. Naibi. Ala wassalam. Tekbir. That's our Baba. Olonje kekpe fun wa sa. Also, the man with agility and who has this vocal thing when it comes to the matter of national issues as it concerns Islam. Tí nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ lálẹ́ yìí sìn ní Zamfara, Taraba, Lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ní Èkìtì, àwọn mọ̀ríkì ó ti kọ̀ nǹkan pẹ̀. So the brain behind Murik is here with us in person of Professor Isiaq Akintola of Murik International. Tekbir. Wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ti pẹ́ láti ayé Unilag tí wọ́n máa ń wọ t-shirt ẹ̀ta ló máa ń pàdé wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí wọ́n bá ti ní lecture àwọn náà rẹ́rìn ó yà yín lẹ́nu sáà. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ pẹ́ fún wa. Also here is Alhaji Sheikh Al-Imam Abdulrazak Abdulhamid Akuru, the chief imam of this Central Mosque, Abdulaziz Al-Sheikhola Central Mosque in Ibadan. Sheikh Abdulrazak Abdulhamid Akuru. Ahlan wa sahlan. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ ake kàkà kọ́lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́, bójú yín ó ṣe pé bí ó ṣe jẹ, bàbá ó sọ tí wọ́n sọ, wọ́n tún wá ní kinní kan, wọ́n ní àdéhùn. If he say he's going to come here by 8, ẹ ti expect wọn 5 minutes to 8 níbẹ̀. Tẹ́ ẹ bá fi lè waste time wọn báyìí, ẹ gbàgbé kó ti lọ. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ pẹ́ fún wa. Also during the hijab struggle in Oyo State, I'm happy to introduce our brother who was in the front at that time to make hijab to be actualized in Oyo State secondary schools. Then, during the time of late Governor Lama Adesina, I think, I'm talking about our Sheikh Alhaji Lukman Onolako, of the Concerned Muslim Organization, Oyo State, the state coordinator, Tekbir. And sitting right to his left is the Amir, the new Amir of Universal Muslim Brotherhood, who took over after the demise of Sheikh Olanrewaju Adepoju. May Allah be pleased with him. I'm introducing Alhaji Ablatif Olaniyan Tekbir. Also in Oyo State, we have the chairman of Sharia panel in person of Alhaji Abdullahi Adedeji Tekbir. Also, all the way from Lagos, I'm happy to introduce the member of Majlis Shura, Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, Alhaji Mustafa Balogun Tekbir. Ọkùnrin takuntakun lẹ́rìn wọn, tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́rọ̀ jùlọ ń takuntakun, àwọn ni wọ́n ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Also, I'm happy to introduce Dr. Rafiu Balogun Adisa, the Chairman, Supreme Council for Sharia, Oyota. Tekbir. Rafiu Balogun. Okay. Balogun is Balo. Bóyá wọ́n fẹ́ fi joyè Balógun ni. Torí ọ̀rọ̀ Sharia ọ̀dọ̀ wọn ni ló blow gbogbo nǹkan. Balógun ni yín lóòótọ́. Ẹ máa mú yẹn lọ yọ. Thank you very much. And then I have to introduce also from Oyo Sharia panel, Dr. Abdurrashid Abdurrahim Tekbir. Adam Hosala. And I have to introduce also from Oyo, Sheikh Taufik Abdulaziz Alajiki Tekbir. Ẹjọ́ torí àsìkò gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tẹ wá látọ̀ yọ, ẹ̀yin gan ni news, ẹ bá wa dìdí lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà. Tekbir. Ọlọ́run ní jókòó bàjẹ́, ẹ kì í ṣe bí ẹnìkan kábí, Mashallah. Bẹ́ẹ̀ máa ń jẹ Indomie. A máa ṣe bí ànábì. I love that. Also, I want to introduce the brain behind the convening this August briefing of the press, in person of Professor Abidin Olaiton, the General Secretary concerned Yoruba Muslim scholars in Nigeria. He was one time the running mate of the late Governor Kala in the governorship election in Oyo State. So they are not small fries. I want to introduce also Malam Abdugani Sahid or Laidi Ezra. Is a barrister at law. Tekbir, barrister. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And also, I want to introduce, I don't know why he's not here, in the front, the chairman of Political Awareness Group, Oyo State, Dr. Lukman Fasasi. Tekbir. When you get my bombi now? Okay. We used to call him the president, and he's representing Sheikh Tajuddin Abdulkarim Alihadabi Babalagbe, president. Wọ́n ní kẹ́ máa bọ̀ sí ọwọ́ wájú. Kí n jẹ́ jókòó. Ṣé mo lè máa nà róbí ni? Ahlan wa sahlan. The representative of Sheikh Mayaleke should also come here, please. Ahlan wa sahlan. You are welcome, sir. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And the gentlemen of the press, Ileni Jokwe, they have to see front page. They have a headline nínú àwọn náà ti rẹ́rìn amarawa. We trust you that you are going to give it the desired publicity it deserves. I will call on the chairman, state chaplain of NUJ in person of Mr. Raji Adebayo. Correspondent chapel, that is it. You are welcome, sir. And I think I'll be first.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sharifdin Nasruddin, Radio NigeriaIbadan.
Thank you very much. Next.
Good morning, sir. Being Olubori from Nigerian Tribune.
That's Nigeria Tribune for you.
Okay. Good morning, sir. My name is Bayo Akama from New Nigerian Newspapers.
Ibilo Kayimo, Mr. Akama from New Nigeria. I love that. Our dear sister, the lady in the house. You are welcome.
Good morning, sir. My name is Yinka Bodeare. I work with the News Agency of Nigeria.
So that is the News Agency of Nigeria. Nan, Yenkari.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kamaruddin Muritala, Aladiya TV.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Soji Ajibola. I write for Nigerian Tribune.
That's very good.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Sulaiman Shehu. I'm from the News Agency of Nigeria now.
News what lo far.
My name is Kendi Adeyemo, Mori International.
MITV, that's cool and good.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Solani Yafiz from AIT.
Wow, that's cool and good.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Musliuddin Adebayo. I write for Daily Post.
That's our brother from Daily Post. Next, please. Okay. So, I think Kim Fiasikoiki brother Abdulkabir Lawal. Ahlan wa sahlan. there is always, and there will always be issues. Bó bá dẹ̀ ṣe ń wá la ṣe máa treat ẹ̀. I think I need to introduce myself too. I am Alhaji Maruf Olabamiji Yusuf. I'm the former head of news with the King's FM Ibadan here. And they used to call me Lawaliso, my radio program. Yeah. Nice to meet you too. So I will give the mic now. The world is waiting. Dr. Sikula Oluwanyo is with us from Ekiti State. Please come here, please. You are welcome. Jazakumullah khairan. There will always be issues. And one thing is that in any society, even in families, if there are issues, you should address them. If you want peace and you don't want conflicts. So by way of dialogue, Dr. Abrofil Ballo, the chairman of Sharia panel, please come over here. So I will now give the mic to our President General, Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, in person of Sheikh Adiyatullah Abdul Rashid, our dear Baba, is going to address the press conference titled The State of the Nation. Before I give him the mic, I'm happy to introduce our dear Sheikh from Lagos, Sheikh Abfatah Thani. Halan wasala. You are welcome, sir. And all the way from Ogbomoso, our Sheikh Tajuddin. Halan wasala. You are welcome, sir. So Sheikh Adiyatullah, the mic is waiting. The world is waiting. The press are waiting. They want to hear from the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria and the concerned Yoruba Muslim scholars, the state of the nation from the prism of the Muslim and Islam.
Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyi al-Mustafa. I welcome you all to this press statement and also press release at the World Press Conference we are organizing. I welcome you all. And I wish you, inshallah, safe return to your abodes. And I have this to say. We are here today to speak on the state of the nation as it affects the Yoruba Muslims in particular and the entire citizenry in general. The concerned Yoruba Muslim scholars in Nigeria is the umbrella body of Yoruba Muslim scholars in Nigeria, with the primary aim to cater for the interests of Yoruba Muslims in public political affairs and protection of Sharia injunctions and spiritual matters. The group plays a pivotal role in the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidential project, and to the glory of Allah, we won against all odds. I start with marginalization of Yoruba Muslims of Southwest in political appointments. During the campaign for the presidential election of Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there was a very stiff and ferocious antagonism from the Nigerian Christians over the religious affiliation of the presidential candidate, and even later that of the vice presidential candidate. They rose in unison against what they tagged Muslim ticket. Let the whole world recall that the political conspiracy against the Muslims in the Southwest had all along precluded Muslims from emerging as president or vice president since Nigeria's independence in 1960. Chief MKO Abiola, that was poised to remove the jinx and his election annulled, while Chief Ernest Soneka and Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who are Christians, became direct beneficiaries of his political sojourn. The attendant effect was continuous marginalization of the southern Muslims. Thus, when Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu commenced his political journey into the Aso Rock in 2020, the Muslims came out with full enthusiasm, not only on their belief of his competence and capability, but also providing relief that as a Muslim, you will attend to the age-long marginalization against the southern Muslims, and which has effectively kept them in disadvantaged positions in all aspects of human endeavor, be it in political appointments, education, job opportunities, and what have you. The southern Muslim scholars and Muslim masses, with the support of their northern brothers, did all they could to ensure President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the election. Ironically, since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in on the 29th May, year 2023, the southern Muslim, especially southwest Muslim, despite being in majority in the region, are faced with another dimension or worse form of marginalization, as succinctly predicted by Professor Isaac Oloyede in his lecture presented at National Mosque during the presidential inauguration lecture. Thus, when Muslims are in power, we are not in power, and when we are not in power, we are completely not in power. On how will any reasonable person fairly explain the rationale behind more than 80% from the southwest occupied by the southern Christians, including those who had fought tooth and nail against the so-called Muslim tickets? It is not only disappointing, but also very annoying. For the purpose of clarity, below are the appointments from the southwest so far, together with the religious affiliations of the occupiers. Ministers, 7 against 4. 7 means 7 Christians against 4 Muslims. Number 1, Ondele Alake, Christian, Minister of Solid Minerals Development. 2, Ombosun Tijani, Christian, Minister of Communication. 3, Onwale Edu, Christian, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy. 4, Onlola Adejon, Christian, Minister of Tourism. 5, Honorable Metuji Ojo, Christian, Minister of Interior. 6, Onjumake Oduwole, Christian, Minister of Trade and Investments. 7, Onayodele Olawande, Christian, Minister of Youth. 8, Isaac Salako Adekunle, Muslim, Minister of State for Health. 9, Wahid Adelabu, Muslim, Minister of Power. 10, Isiaka Oyetola Boyega, Muslim, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy. 11. Ontunji Alausa Maru, Muslim, Minister of Education. Top appointments: Yemi Cardoso, Christian, Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. Number 2, Femi Bajabiamila, Muslim. 3, Sakios A. Adedeji, Christian, Executive Chairman, FIRS. Pius Akiyelure, Christian, Chairman, NNPCL Board. Not a single Southwestern Muslim in the entire board. 5. Bengalade, Christian, MDCO AMCON. 6. Kayode Opefa, Christian, MD Nigerian Railway Corporation. 7. Topefa Shua, Christian, Special Advisor to the President on Economy. Key security appointments: Wale Egbetokun, Christian, Inspector General of Police. 2. Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, Christian, Director General DSS. 3. Olanipepo Olukayode, Christian, Chairman EFCC. 4. Late General Taori Dagbaja, Christian, Chief of Army Staff. 5. Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, Christian, new Chief of Army Staff. The above represent few of the level of unfair treatment meted out to Southern Muslims in all other areas of public service. It was very disappointing to the Southwestern Muslims that in spite of vehement criticism against the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ticket as Muslim ticket, all that Yoruba Muslims who supported the team and put enormous resources into the struggles got is this unfair representation in the government and a systematic denial of opportunity to participate in the development of the country. It will further shock anyone who has an iota of sense of justice and fairness to believe that aside this treatment meted into the Yoruba Muslim, not a singular Muslim from the southeast and south-south was given such an appointment in the current federal government formation. It behoves President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to explain that his government, his sense of justice and fairness is not religious selective, when he also deemed it fit to appoint a Christian chief of defense staff and secretary to the federal government from the Muslim-dominated northern Nigeria. It is certain and obvious beyond any peradventure that every village in Nigeria today can boast of having competent hands to become president of the country, not to talk of holding a political appointment under a president. The implication of this is that competent and capable hands are not only existing among the Christians, but also in all other religions, and Islam, of course, has more than enough and cannot be an exception. In terms of political participation, the records are there for anyone to verify. The significant roles played by the Muslim when the storm against the Muslim ticket garnered dust because the Christian Association of Nigeria was seriously exposed to it, and this was responsible for loss of Lagos State in the presidential election because the Christians gave their block vote to Peter Obi. The same can has now struck a muted tone when Providence suddenly brought before its doorstep proceeds of the Accord Muslim. It was a series of these ugly happenings that left the southwestern Muslim with no any option other than for the suspicion of a subtle political annihilation being executed against us, and unfortunately using one of us. Presently we cannot boldly say we have a single governor throughout the southwest. The only one being rubbed on our face says he is a half Muslim, half Christian, and every conscious Muslim knew that kind of person as Christian. The case of Ekiti and Ondo states with a sizable Muslim population is worrisome and pretty disturbing. In these states, Muslims are not even considered for a deputy governor, compared with Kwara State dominated by the Muslim population, but always concedes the position of the deputy governor to the Christian, who is fair and who is unfair.
Demand for establishment of Sharia Court of Appeal in the 6 Yoruba states in Nigeria. We are compelled to dig out the historical background of the demand for establishment of Sharia Court of Appeal in the 6 southwest states in Nigeria, due to the needless uproar being orchestrated by mere inauguration of Sharia panel in some times in recent times. That there are over 60,000 central mosques in Yoruba land, over 300,000 ward and compound mosques, that the independent constitutions of 1960 and 1963 Republican Constitution both entrenched the establishment of Sharia Court of Appeal, just as the 1979 Constitution in Section 240, 244 and Section 259 sub 1 of the 1989 Constitution did as well. That the genesis of the legitimate agitation for a Sharia judiciary in Yoruba land has started in Lagos as far back as 1894, when Muslims in Lagos requested the implementation of Sharia on both from the then colonial government of Lagos, although the request was not granted. That Muslims in Lagos repeatedly submitted another petition in the Sharia issue to the British imperialists in 1923. That Timi of Ede, Oba Abib Olagunju, who ruled in the 1900, and Oluwu Muhammad Lamoye, who ruled in 1906, applied Islamic injunction in the administration of customary matters in their palaces during their reign. The native Sharia court was opened at Agbeni area in Ede in 1913, although it was later abrogated in 1918. That in 1948, the demand for Sharia court was made by Ibadan Muslim from the then colonial administration in their petition. It was said the Muslim petitioner confirmed that more than 4,000 divorce cases involving Muslims were arbitrarily handled, while the Muslim couples were separated like dogs in their wards. 8. In the same 1948, the Muslim Congress of Nigeria, with its headquarters in Ijebu, they submitted a memorandum to the Brooke Commission of Inquiry. The memorandum was said to have called for the establishment of Muslim courts in the South. 9. It is on record that Sharia courts were in operation before the independence in the Sharia city of Iwo, Ede, Epe, Ikirun, Ibadan, Iseyin, Auchi, Agbede, and Lagos, although they were not reported to have gained the government support. Third, that on September 12, 1992, Honorable Justice Abdulkadir Orire retired. The then Grand Cadi of Sharia Court of Appeal visited the newly created Osun State in a tour to enlighten the Osun State Muslim community on Sharia and their constitutional right to implement it in the state. 11. In December 1999, a memorandum was sent to Osun State House of Assembly by the League of Imam and Advance on behalf of the Osun State Muslim community of Osun State, requesting for the establishment of Sharia court in the state for the Muslims, being their constitutional right. 12. That a memorandum was submitted to the then President-elect, General Olusegun Obasanjo, on the non-negotiable demand of Southern Muslims in the Fourth Republic. The memorandum underscored the issue of Sharia court establishments. It was published by the New Nigerian newspaper on April 8, 1999, page 20. 13. That the Yoruba Muslim demand has always been that it is the mandatory duty of Southwest State to establish a Sharia court of appeal and subordinate court of first instance for their citizens who are Muslim, considering their substantial number in the population of their various states. This they demand in line with the constitutional provision and against the backdrop of their belief that doing so will further assert accepting the reality of what made up of Nigeria, since they believe that Nigeria is not a secular state but more a multi-religious sovereign nation under God. 14. That they demand this be done in the same way the authority establishing Muslim and Christian pilgrim board, and just as some states have done in the case of customary court of appeal, as done in states like Plateau, Edo, Delta, Osun, among others. 15. That the common law court jurisdiction should not be forced on the Southwest Muslims as the only alternative left with them whenever they need to seek legitimate legal redress in their issues of personal law. Since the Marriage Act Cap 218 of the Law of Federation and Lagos 1958, the will law and law of administration of estate are all extant Christian family laws in operation in our court. And since arguably the common law is deemed a Christian law as proven with history as one that takes origin from the Anglican Church of England and espoused by eminent English jurists like Lord Denning, Lord Finan, and Lord Sommer, precisely in the latest popular submission in the case of Bowman versus Secular Society Limited. 16. That Nigeria is not the only country in Africa south of Sahara to accommodate Sharia, since the same is found in Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Uganda, Gambia, and even Sri Lanka. Their Sharia courts, even though the Muslim authorities of that country constitute only about 80% of the population. 17. That the establishment of Sharia court is exclusively meant for the Muslim and party who wish to be adjudicated according to Sharia principle, and its establishment should not be misconstrued as a prejudice to the right of non-Muslims or an agenda to Islamize Nigeria. After all, the Coptic Christians of Egypt, who accounted for less than 7% of the Egyptian population, enjoy the facilities of Coptic communal court and a Coptic communal court of appeal. Yet, Egypt is not a Coptic state. 18. That the Sharia arbitration being exercised by the existing independent Sharia panel in Yoruba land is undoubtedly one of the recognized alternative dispute resolution methods in Nigeria. The Supreme Court of Nigeria in Agu vs. Ikewibe has upheld the validity of such informal arbitration. Also, Section 277 of the 1999 Constitution as amended recognizes the jurisdiction of Sharia as a source of law. 19. That it was after all attempts to convince the southwestern states to establish Sharia court and appear as failed that the Muslim community of East States started to launch ADR platform named Independent Sharia Panel in order to adjudicate on Muslim disputes according to the Sharia and to fill the lacuna in the judiciary of their various states, as there are no court of competent jurisdiction to handle matter related to disputes related to Islamic personal law in this state, neither the High Court nor the customary court. The Supreme Court has ousted the jurisdiction of both courts on civil matter of Islamic personal law in Al-Kamawa versus Bello and Usman versus Umoru. 20. That already there are Sharia panels sitting in the Central Mosque NigeriaIbadan, Oyo State since 1st of May 2002. Abẹ́sán Central Mosque Ìpàjà, Lagos State, and 1004 Estate Central Mosque Victoria Land, Lagos State since 2003. Ẹ̀gbá Muslim Central Mosque Kobiti, Abeokuta, Ogun State since 17 January 2018. Also State Muslim Community Secretariat Ring Road, Osogbo since January 2005. Ọjọba Central Mosque Ado Ekiti, Ekiti State. S is first sitting in January 2025. 21. Meanwhile, in the latest development, the customary law of Lagos State in its section 22 provide that the Lagos State Judicial Service Commission may designate a court to adjudicate on Islamic law and matter in relation to marriage, divorce, custody and inheritance. It means fit, This was effected in 2022 when the Chief Justice of Lagos State designated the Ifako-Ijaye customary court to sit on matter of Islamic personal law. While this unprecedented move by the Lagos State government is commendable, it raises some central questions of conflict of jurisdiction that could not be overlooked. Hence, effecting the provision of Section 275 Sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended remain the only plausible way toward filling the judicial lacuna of Muslim personal law in adjudication in Southwest. 22. The Yoruba Muslim bear no grudge for any and have always been tolerant of adherents of other faith. For this, they should be allowed to implement their God-given and constitutional right to adjudicate the law of their religion, the Sharia. Failure of state government in Southwest Nigeria to formally establish Sharia Court of Appeal, actually to the setting up of independent Sharia panel across various Muslim communities in Southwest State. This does not violate any law. Rather, it helps to resolve many disputes that could have to queue at our already suggested unaffordable and strenuous time-consuming bureaucratic process of confessional court process. Or the example of happening in Southwest in the past was as a result of tolerance of the Yoruba Muslim who have Sharia law replaced with Christian law, dubiously called common law by the colonial master and local politicians that took over them. Conversion of innocent Muslim youth in the name of seeking Western education and allowing interreligious marriage with its adherents, loss of members of children to Christianity. The dominance of political terrain in Southwest Nigeria by non-Muslims was due to religious sensitivity to corrupt and immoral practice that always characterized the political circle. It was this appetite that always led to political situations where Christians find it easy to become governors in Muslim-dominated states in Oyo, Osun, Lagos, and Ogun State. Whereas Muslims never find it easy to become governor in Ondo and Ekiti, where Christians are the majority. The genuine Yoruba Muslim populated in southwestern Nigeria therefore demand for the establishment of Sharia court as it is being operated constitutionally in some other states. We see Sharia court as complementary to Christian court as well as customary court, which is the position of law and constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Anything contrary does not represent the opinion of our Yoruba Muslims. We are not unaware of a comedian impostor claiming to be chief imam of Yoruba land and his God laid claim to the Islamic scholarship while working against Sharia. The only recognized chief imam of Yoruba land is the President General League of Imam and Alphas of Yoruba land, Sheikh Jamiu Keulere, who is the chief imam of Ekiti State. All these elements constitute crude distraction to our demand and should be concerned to where they belong. State of the nation. It should be noted that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu repeatedly convinced Nigeria during the campaign that he had a full capacity to direct the nation cause to glory and economic success. It therefore will be an unprecedented stab at the back of the country if all the halfway capacity is just a mere implementation of this state from some European countries and their institutions. We are disturbed as to the exact gain Nigeria stands to recoup from the president's recent romance with these nations, and why did the president ensure his integrity by making sure those who work assiduously for him are not treated as used and dumb. It is a trait unbecoming of a Muslim. It is capable of destroying brotherhood and prevent future cooperation or teamwork to achieve greater success. We are daily being advised to be patient for fruiting of current economic policy, with living wage progressing in arithmetically and cost of living progressing geometrically. This is the basis of the increased poverty rate being experienced in by Nigerian masses of recent. All the public utility tariffs are going upward, while the earning capabilities of nosediving toward mass 100 days of straight total darkness at the federal university, at the federal government-run University Hospital of Ibadan. Our universities have not received any serious attention on their demand that got the entire public university locked down for almost a year before the president's inauguration. Other sectors of the economy like agriculture are not faring better. There is the need for special presidential intervention projects in these key sectors: health, education, and agriculture. It is noteworthy that one of our campaign slogans then was good governance and economic prosperity. Nigeria are becoming impatient daily. We are not unaware of palliative being distributed, but there is little effect on the suffering masses, and it is not even judiciously distributed to reach the target masses. For example, the one being routed through our association is still on transit since July 2024 and yet to reach all the southern states, even when our brethren in other states have judiciously distributed theirs to the sufferings. Co-signed by Sheikh Abdulrasheed Adeyatollah, President General Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, and Sheikh Abdulrasheed Moyaleki, Chairman Concerned Yoruba Muslim Scholars in Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Concerned about scholars in Nigeria, Sharia in Nigeria. Amen. Now, before the next item on the agenda, I have to introduce our erudite Islamic scholars, our Sheikh, our Baba, in person of Professor K.K. Olosho. Tekbir. We used to refer to him as the man of gown and town. He's in the academics. Àwọn ọmọ bàbá rẹ̀ tó ni wọ́n. Mashallah. And Dr. Tirimizi is also with us here. You are welcome. Ahlan wa sahlan. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, having said that, I want us to have this. Maybe you can pencil it down. You can go and check the Nation of January 26, 2025. The front caption reads or read, Northern Can, Lord Tinubu on inclusive governance, says Muslim ticket no longer issues. All the newspaper, including the Nation of January 26. It was a banner headline. I just want it to be inclusive. So having said that, we're going to have question and answers because of time, because we are so squeezed with time. Gentlemen of the press, if there are questions, you can move forward to ask. And our Babas will be responding. And if they have any contributions, I think they are going to address some gray areas if necessary. Questions from the members of the press. I want to announce that the Nation and Punch newspaper, they have paired assignment. So we are going to find this in it too. So if there are contributions from our fathers before the press ask their question. Okay. Tí àwọn bàbá wa bá ní àfikún kan kó tó di pé àwọn oníròyìn ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ohun ọ̀dọ́ sókè wọn ní ajẹ́ kan lò àwọn kan sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم those who oppose the Sharia, there are many. And they are pointing accusing figures on the northern regions that have applied Sharia more than 30 years ago. That there's no significant benefit derived from this Sharia. Even the insurgency, they could not curtail insurgency. They could not wipe out insurgency in northern regions. And I have this reply to add that those kidnapping, banditry, they are the people who are not living in the cities and villages. They are not living in the communities. They are living in the bush. They are not stable in the city. If you want to apply the Islamic Sharia, the law of insurgency on them, where do you find them? They are in the bushes, running away in the bushes. If to say they are in the cities and the people are seeing, and the people in authority are seeing them, they will apply the law of insurgency on them. إنما جزاء الذين يحاربون الله ورسوله ويسعون في الأرض فسادا أن يقتلوا أو يصلبوا أو تقطع أيديهم وأرجلهم من خلاف أو ينفوا من الأرض. See, that is in Surah Al-Ma'idah. If you apply that, you will not find any insurgency, or it will be reduced to a minimal proportion. See Jangebe in the era of Yerima in Zamfara. They caught only one hand, and then, Alhamdulillah, there is no thieving there, stealing there anymore. Because Islamic law against all these crimes are deterrent. Islamic law is deterrent. So against all these crimes, the mayhem that is happening, menace of all those crimes that is happening, when you apply Islamic law, it is a complete deterrent, because it's Allah-made law, not common-made law, not man-made law. And Allah will descend security and peace to the community and the people who are applying his law. Wassalamu alaikum.
I will hand over the microphone to our Baba, Professor D.O.S. Naibi. Maybe there are some things, some observation or contributions you want to make.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa sallim. I wish to make a few comments, particularly regarding which is better, using microphone or not. The opposition to the Sharia in Nigeria is a result absolutely of ignorance. Those who know what the Sharia really is, even among non-Muslims, would welcome it. And I wish to give just a few examples. I taught the Sharia at the University of Ibadan, and the majority of my students came from outside the Department of Arabic and Islamic Studies. And I recall a particular occasion whilst teaching a course on Islamic family law. A student from the Department of Theatre Arts, a non-Muslim, an Igbo lady, caught in and said, in the course of the lecture, "Sir, are you saying that this law that you're explaining to us is for the Muslims only?" And I said, well, Islam does not impose itself on those who do not accept it. It is only for those who accept that La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. She shook her head and said, no, I think this law should be made obligatory on all men. That was a Christian lady, not a student of the Department of Arab Islamic Studies, and an Igbo lady for that matter. The other example was this. I was invited to the High Court in Nigeria, in Ibadan here, where the judge was one Justice Oyekon, a Christian, to give advice to the court regarding the distribution of the estate of a Muslim that died intestate. That is, he didn't leave any will. I was being led in evidence by Chief, the first son, that lady, the first, I can't remember, Sholanke. And the evidence took more than 3 hours on two succeeding Wednesdays. At a point, the judge halted and said, Dr. Noibi, what you are telling us now, are you saying that all these are in Islamic law? And I said, it is just a tip of the iceberg. He dropped his pen and said, why are people opposed to the Sharia in Nigeria? Here I am, a lawyer for about 25 years, and I have been on the bench for nearly 15 years, and yet I'm ignorant of this law. If I had my way, I would say every lawyer being trained in Nigeria must study the Sharia. That was what Justice Oyekon said right in the court there. So it's ignorance. So it is said that an ignorant person is an enemy of what would have been beneficial to him or her. Therefore, we are making this an opportunity for people to understand what the Sharia really is, particularly because what we are asking for, we have been asking for this as far as, to the best of my own recollection, as far as the period when we were debating the draft constitution in 1978. When Muslims were saying, now that we are going to have one constitution for the whole country, let the Sharia also be reflected in that one constitution, especially because it is already accommodated in the constitution of northern Nigeria. And that was where the debate began. And as you have been hearing from those who read the speech to us, this is not the first time that the Muslims are asking for the Sharia. It's even before the year 1900. So we are calling for it just as our fathers and grandfathers had called for it before, and we are assuring non-Muslims of the fact that it doesn't take anything from them regarding their rights. The Constitution says it is for those who are Muslims, and especially because talking about the Sharia, the Sharia Court of Appeal, it says it is the state government that decides. The House of Assembly decides, and the governor assents to it. And it is only for those who subscribe to Islamic teachings and will go to that court. It is not imposed on non-Muslims. So we are appealing to non-Muslims to be considerate, live and let live. And let us recall what the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs in Nigeria has said about this matter. It is meant for Muslims. Let the Muslims have their rights, especially because Section 38 of the Constitution of Nigeria, subsection 1, gives people the right to live their lives according to the teachings of their religion. Not only in the private life, but also in their public life. This is what the Muslims are asking for. What the Sharia Council is asking for now is not court, but arbitration panels. We recognize the fact that it is only government that can establish courts according to the Constitution. But it doesn't prevent us, the Constitution does not prevent us from having arbitration panels that is based on the Sharia. That's the little that I wish to add to what has been said so far. I do hope that these pieces of information will go round and peace will reign. Thank you.
Please, I will hand the mic over now to Professor Kiki Olosho before we go to the men of the press for their questions.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I want to seek your indulgence to talk to the audience without any recourse to the microphone, because those who have used microphone before us, we have not had anything from their contribution. And I want to ask whether you are hearing me even without this microphone. Wọ́n gbọ́ mi. Ṣé kí n máa lò? First, I'd like to commend the effort of the Sharia Council of Nigeria for this sensitization of the masses on Sharia. And I want to also give kudos to those who on the social media have done justice to the issue of Sharia. We have some of them in our midst. The Murik Director General is here. When I read what he wrote about the Sharia, I forwarded it to at least 200 people. And that is what we should be doing. Even my teacher, my mentor, my Baba, I forwarded the thing to him. Like Baba has said, most of us who passed through his tutelage know what Sharia is. But how many of us know this? What we should do is, if we agree, is something that we did when the late Bola Ige was victimizing Muslims in Oyo State, even old Oyo State. The Muslim Student Society, you know, I was its national president. We went around all the mosques, virtually all the mosques, sensitizing people about the injustice which Bola Ige was meting out to Muslims. And the thing worked. It worked because it resulted in ditching Bola Ige. And all of us are aware of how he was shouting on the radio. Is that the kind of vote you did in Iwo, in Ejigbo, in Baga? Crying. That is the kind of thing we should be doing. Secondly, it is very, very important that we educate the masses. This kind of thing we are doing is both education and sensitization, but we must educate the masses. In other words, most of the things which have come out from our scholars, including our sheikh, today we must document them and send these things as handbills to mosques, not only in English but also in Yoruba language. When we do that and everybody is aware of what Sharia is all about, we will have no much problem. Again, the Sharia Council of Nigeria, the Muswen, the League of Imam and Alphas, we must come together and meet the president of Nigeria. I just murmured to one of our people here that one of those mentioned as a Muslim is not a Muslim, he's a Christian. And he's my in-law, so I know him inside out. Isaac Salako, my boot. When it comes to religion, he is a Christian. And I want us to know too that even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a moribund Muslim. No doubt about it. Why must we be deceiving ourselves? Even the wife who controls him, because many people have alluded to that the woman is so powerful that it is whatever he says that the president listens to. And we know he is a big wit in is a pastor at the Redeem Church under Adeboye, and we know how much Adeboye likes the Muslims. Then the most important thing that concerns the masses is this: whatever will stop suffering, hunger. So we must emphasize that when we meet him, if we are able to meet him. The last time some of us met him, I spoke and I said, this bottled water served to us here in Aso Rock. In 1970, when I went to Saudi Arabia on pilgrimage, it was 1 riyal, and that in 2023, it remains 1 riyal. I mean, you could do similar thing. So that is the kind of thing we have to drum into the ears of those under whose governance we are put. And finally, honestly, we need to educate the masses. We use our mosque to educate them. I do it. Baba is a witness, because at random he will listen to my dawah in my mosque. You need to first educate your own wives, especially those of us who have 4 wives. I have 4. And I'm proud about it.
I'm with you, sir.
So you need to. I don't want anybody to intercept my wife and come up with a discussion on Sharia, and she will be scratching her head. No. Ditto for my children. This is what each and every one of us must be doing. If we have not been doing it, it's very important. And we should let them know that, of course, it is already stated here, and I've said that whatever that have come out from the scholars and from the president of Sharia Council of Nigeria today, and even from the discussions we are doing now, we must put them in black and white and get this distributed gratis to as many people as we can in Yoruba language particularly, and if possible in Igbo language, because we are talking about the southern Nigeria. And then we should let these people know that Islam is universal. It's not a tribal religion. It's not we are not talking about ethnicity here. I have some of my family who are Christians say, must we be sold to the Hausas and the Fulanis and so on and so forth. I mean, we should debunk all that kind of insinuation and nonsensical vituperations. Thank you.
Islam is a universal religion, and we should go through the process of this and make more of orientation so that we can penetrate the issues. The Bible is a good person. And after that, Professor from Lagos, the president of Korea, and our they told me out of Nigeria. Àwọn ọ̀dọ́ àṣọ yóò wọ́n lórí àwọn tí wọ́n kò wá kó má ní pé èkó nìkan ní asàlàpọ̀ kó má bàa nípa ẹ̀dá. Just one of the press. Name and the question and your translation.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Marginalization. I write for the independent newspaper. So I want to ask for clarification on page 4, where you are making demand. You are waiting for the establishment of the Sharia court in the southwest. There is some gathering like this. They said they are not asking for Sharia court, but they are asking for arbitration panel. So I want clarification on that one. Number 2, sir, you make some demands here, and if government rejects that demand that there is no room for establishment of any Sharia court in the southwest, because during the introduction of this Sharia administration in Oyo, the governor of Oyo State made it clear that they won't allow Sharia court in Oyo State. So So if the Southwest now said there is no room for Sharia courts in this geopolitical zone, what will be the next line of action? Thank you, sir.
Any other question, or do we pick one after the other? Let me give the mic Professor Tola of Muri to do justice to that.
Gentlemen of the press, Muslim brothers and sisters, I will join that question, the response to that question, to a comment that I have. Because it's about justice, it's about equity, fairness, equal rights. The judicial system of this country is kind of, for now, is tripartite. There are three systems. The common law is being used. Customary, after common law, under common law, you have the magistrate courts, high courts, courts of appeal, and the Supreme Court. Then there is Sharia law, which is already in operation in the north. Then there is customary law, which is all over the federation, throughout Nigeria. The common law, which operates, through which we operate the magistrate, high court, appeal court, and the Supreme Court, is suitable for Christians. And the Christians enjoy it. And because of that, they have not asked for any other thing. Because common law, which is not so common, is Christian law. The Muslims in the north enjoy Sharia. But the Yoruba Muslims, or Muslims in the southern part of the country, have nothing to rely on. They are robbed, they are denied, they are deprived, they are oppressed. And on several occasions, cases in courts, particularly on personal Islamic law, have been dropped. And the judges have ruled that they had no jurisdiction, that the court had no jurisdiction to decide, to adjudicate on of divorce, cases of sharing of inheritance, and the judges in the high courts have admitted publicly, and it is in print, they are published, that they had no jurisdiction. They didn't know anything about those cases. Cases of those Muslim couples was set aside. And because there is no Sharia law, no Sharia court in Yoruba land, those Muslims from Ibadan, from Osogbo, from Ondo, from Lagos, they have to go to Kwara, where there is a Sharia court, where there are Sharia courts. This is injustice. Democracy is about accessibility, that everybody has opportunity. Democracy is about opportunity, that equal opportunity, equal chance, equal right, equity, fairness, justice. The Muslims in Yoruba land and in general in the whole South are being deprived without Sharia court in Yoruba land, without Sharia court in Yoruba. And it is because there's no Sharia court. That's why we started the Sharia panels, and then the hula baloo began. I think it smacks of selfishness, it smacks of ignorance. And of course, it is an invitation to chaos. In particular, we have Yoruba nation activists threatening Yoruba Muslim leaders in Yoruba land. Gentlemen of the press, you will be failing in your duties if you do not come out with the truth. Because nations born when truth is hidden away. And this is the beginning. When Muslims are attacked, if Muslims are attacked, those Muslims, the rest of the Muslims will not sit, will not watch quietly. And it is irresponsibility on the part of the chief executives of the states in Yoruba land to come out openly to declare that Muslims want to establish Sharia courts. There was no such information. But because they want to trap the Muslims, they started shout like somebody like Makinde here, the governor of Oyo State, somebody like Abiodun in Abeokuta in Ogun State. He also issued a threat and said there was nothing like Sharia. And of course, we'd like to say that we will continue to press for the Sharia panels. The Sharia panels in existence will not close. And any attempt to close them will be a declaration of war on Muslims. Because we hold those Sharia panels inside mosques. We don't use government courts. They are not courts. If they insist on being ignorant, then we will insist on our rights. Arbitration is our right, and from it we will move on to the court per se, because Sharia court is actually our right. We are begging the question when we ask only for Sharia panel. It is because we want to have been harassing, intimidating, oppressing, persecuting, and it is time this stops.
Again from the members of the press, and I will give the mic now to our Rifat Sheikh Afatai Thani.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Our fathers and scholars seated and the press, we want to use this opportunity to talk to our president. We know his ability and people know that he can do better. But after the result of the election, there were rumors that we're hearing from the non-Muslims, the Christians, that they are the one from the south here. They are the one that are going to run this government with him, and they will ruin it. And look at what we are having today. Leave petrol alone. Imagine NEPA bill that was 50,000 to a household 2 months ago is now 380,000 naira. Where are we heading to? Another danger is that Nigerian state is at stake because they suggested that Nigeria will get disintegrated in 2015. It didn't happen, and they have put it at 2030 now from the forces that doesn't want Nigeria to be. And when they want to bring that problem, they bring when they want to execute this project, they bring problems, create problem where there's no problem at all. In Yoruba land, we have always been together in peace. But came this issue on Yoruba nation, And Yoruba nation is segmentizing the Muslims in Yoruba land as being slaves of the Fulani or slave of the Arabs, so, or slave of Saudi Arabia people. And this is not correct. Islam is a universal religion. The Arabic language for Muslims through our practice of our religion is a universal language. They want to use it to create problem so that the Southwest that enjoy peace and business development, other parts of the country are running here because they feel that if they should burn Yoruba land, then they will succeed in Nigeria and bring about disintegration. This issue needs the attention of the president, and as we scholars, we stood by him for him to become the president of Nigeria. We hope that the people he is bringing close to him, we hope that they will not ruin him. And this go back to history. In Ottoman Empire, when the Sultan Abdulhamid didn't want, he put closer his enemies, and they the one that ruined him. So the issue of Sharia, as we have said, Sharia is part of Islam. If they don't know, the ignorance is this. Islam is two things: faith and practices. Faith, believing in Allah, then after that emanated from it to carry out the instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that we are offering is part of Sharia. The fasting that is coming now is part of Sharia. Unless they are saying directly that you Muslims in Yoruba land, we don't want you to be Muslims again. So or you must be Seshe, and that is not possible. We are Muslim by conviction, and they cannot claim that they are better Yorubas than us. Many of us, we are from royal family. If you want to categorize Nigerians, Yorubas people's position, being the genuine people of Yorubas, many of us, we are from the royal family. We can be kings. If it is true, being a hero, the Baloguns, many of us in our own lineage, we were the Balogun that rescued the existence of Yoruba land up to now. If that is what they want to use to clarify that you are true Yoruba, you are not true Yoruba. And if it is true, this magic that they are doing, most of our forefathers saw the truth and left the falsehood called Isheshe and come to Islam. So they don't have any Yoruba things in them more than us, maybe less than us. So therefore, we pray that our president will listen. This plot is being made in order to ruin him. They were able to ruin the ambition of Abiola. He has entered, he's in Aso Rock. I believe they want to destroy him, but they are already giving him bad names. We know him, and as we are not fighting with anybody, but we are asking for the right, and we are reminding our president the promise he has given to Nigerians and the Muslims. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. That is apt and to the point. Now, I will give the mic now to the Chief Imam of Arishekola Central Mosque to wrap it up in Yorùbá torí pé àwọn tí a kọ́ bí concern Yorùbá Muslim scholars ibi náà la dẹ̀ ti ń ṣe torí bá ṣe ń stream káwọn èèyàn lè máa gbọ́ pé èèbó Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ni wọ́n kàn ń sọ láti àárọ̀ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ ni bàbá wa náà ibi wọ́n bá wa dúpẹ́ ní ìparí inshallah rahman.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ gbogbo àwọn bàbá tí wọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀ ṣáájú bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí bàbá wa àgbà ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àgbà ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àgbà pòfẹ́sọ̀ àwọn pòfẹ́sọ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe jókòó yìí ẹni tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀sìn Islam wọ̀ lálàáfíà tó wọ́n lọ́jọ́ orí wọn ẹ̀ underline statement yìí bàbá ṣe jókòó yìí ẹni tí è ṣe mùsùlùmí kò lálàáfíà tó wọn kí ló sì jẹ́ wọn lálàáfíà torí physical exercise gbogbo ìgbà ákírun ní gbogbo ìgbà ṣẹ̀rí àtàn lò gbogbo ìgbà Ọlọ́run lè fún àlàáfíà yín àti gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yín tí wọ́n wà ń jòkó mo tara yín kí gbogbo wọn president Sharia ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Sheikh Abdulrasheed Adiyatola mo kí ẹ̀yin náà mo kí gbogbo àtàwà bí ẹ̀yin gentlemen and women of the press mo kí ẹ̀yin náà gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n sọ kọ́ ni mo lè rí sọ tán ṣùgbọ́n ìbéèrè tí mo fẹ́ béèrè ni pé kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mùsùlùmí Yorùbá lọ́dọ̀ kan àtàfẹ́nifẹ́re tẹ́ fi gbogbo tìwà tó báyìí kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa kí lẹ́ṣẹ̀ mùsùlùmí Afẹ́nifẹ́re àtàgbàlagbà àtọmọdé wọn kan àtàgbàlagbà àtọmọdé wọn kí lẹ́ṣẹ̀ mùsùlùmí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó fi rí báyìí kí ló dé ṣé àwa ẹ̀yin kan ẹ tó mọ báíbù yìí ju àwọn tó ti ṣáájú yín lọ láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè mi ẹ̀yin Afẹ́nifẹ́re ẹ tó mọ ju bàbá tí wọ́n bí yín ṣé pé Islam lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ni wọ́n bí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín kẹ́ ẹ tó kò ń bẹ̀ lọ́nú ẹ̀sìn míì gbogbo ọ̀nà tí gbogbo ti wà kí lẹ́ṣẹ̀ wa Ṣẹ̀ríà tó ti wà látọdún mọ́dún òun lẹ́ ń ta kò ní ìsìn ṣé torí ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́ ní ṣé torí owó tẹ́ ní ṣé torí ipò tẹ́ ní ṣé torí gbajúmọ̀ tẹ́ ní ilẹ̀ fi ń ta kò wá báyìí ẹ gbàgbé pé ọlá yẹn ẹ̀ẹ̀dá ní o owó yẹn ẹ̀ẹ̀dá ní o ipò yẹn ẹ̀ẹ̀dá ní o Ọlọ́run tẹ́ ń ta kò yìí tẹ́ ń ta kò òfin ẹ̀ ló fún yín o ẹ sì mọ̀ kó lè gbà anytime tí ó bá gbà ntí ó gbà ń bọ̀ yóò gba ọlá yóò gba ipò ẹ mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kí la fi ṣe yín ọmọ wa ò lè lo nìkọ́ọ̀bù ọmọ wa ò lè lo ìjáàbù tọ́wọ́ bá tó dé sùkú yín ẹ̀ tó ní kọ́ parúkọ ẹ̀dà kí ló dé ntí òfin ilẹ̀ wa ti sọ pé ká ṣe ẹ̀ ń taako ẹ má sì gbàgbé pé òfin constitution Nàìjíríà tẹ̀yìn taako yìí tó ti sọ̀rọ̀ ń pa Sharia òfin yẹn náà lọ́gbẹ̀yìn náà wọlé o òfin yẹn ni a lò fún yín tí wọ́n fi dìbò fún yín wọlé whether you be president governor whatever the position you are òfin constitution Nàìjíríà náà wọ́n fi gbé ọ wọlé ìlọ́wọ́ ń ta kó tẹlòmíì ní àwọn ìlú tọ́lọ ní wọ́n gbádùn dáadáa bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe jókòó ní ìsìn pọ̀ṣẹ́ tí wọ́n gbàdúrà pé tí wọ́n ṣàdúrà pé ọmọ rẹ̀ lọ Dubai tí ò ní sàmì rẹ̀ o ọmọ rẹ̀ lọ Saudi tí ò ní sàmì rẹ̀ o ọmọ rẹ̀ lọ Kuwait Emirates Oman, Qatar, Bahrain tí ò ní sàmì rẹ̀ o kí ló dé ṣebí ṣẹ̀ríà ni wọ́n ń lò lọ́hùn-ún torí tí ìgbésí ayé wọn fi dáa tó fi rọrùn láti gbé kí ló ṣe yín ẹ̀yin ẹlẹ́sìn míì nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tẹ́ ń tako àwa mùsùlùmí ní ìsìn ní UK ọlọ́pàá United Kingdom ó ń lo ìdáàbò ọlọ́pàá lórí uniform mo ti rí pilot obìnrin tó wà fúlẹ̀ nìkan tó dó ní plane tí wọ́n sì yà obìnrin pilot tí ń wa plane wọ́n sọ pé kò rí náà o wáyé lọ́dọ̀ tí wá ń bí tó fi lé tó àníkílẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wáṣẹ́ usage ni o school of nurse tẹ́lẹ̀yẹlé ni o everywhere wọ́n gbà kọ́mọ mùsùlùmí ó lo ìjáàbù ẹ̀yin sì ń fi ìjáàbù lórí subhanallah ní Amẹ́ríkà ọ̀gá wa kan ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé ó rìtáyà ní Texas Christian University Islamic law ni wọ́n gbà fọ́tọ́ ń kọ́ ń bẹ̀ o wọ́n sì tún gbà láàyè láti fún wọn nílẹ̀ mọ́ṣáláṣí ní Texas Christian University tí wọ́n ń kírun bẹ̀ ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bí ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí St. Philip ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí káàkiri kí ló dé kí lẹ́sẹ̀ wa tẹ́fi kórìíra wa tó báyìí ẹ̀tọ́ wa ní ṣẹ̀ríà Ọlọ́run ó sì fún wa huwa alladhi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa dinil haqq liyudhhirahu ala dini kulli walau kariha al mushrikun Ọlọ́run ni ó ń sọ pé òun ló ní ṣẹ̀ríà òun ló ń sì gbé kalẹ̀ fáwọn ẹ̀dá àwa ẹ̀dá yìí ọ̀tá ara wa ni wá mi sọ pé ọ̀rẹ́ sọ̀rẹ́ o mi sọ pé gbọ́nsábúrò o ìwọ gangan fúnra rẹ tó bá ń kọ ṣẹ̀ríà ọ̀tá ara rẹ ní ọ́ torí pé tí ó tún gbèsè ayé rẹ ṣe lọ ń ta kò yẹn lérò ló ti ń lo ṣẹ̀ríà tí gbèsè ayé wọn ò ní dá kò sílùú náà lẹ́fí ń sá lọ Saudi lẹ́fí ń lá Saudi gbogbo òdúndúmọ́dá kò yẹn gọ́ọ̀fù mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà lẹ́fí ń sá lọ bẹ̀ torí pé gbèsè ayé wọn dá lẹ́fí ń sá lọ bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ọba gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń gbọ́ ẹ pìrìpì àti dáhùn wọn ìbéèrè yẹn pé kí ni ẹ̀sìn àwa mùsùlùmí sépò tó wà àwọn gọ́fúnà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n ń takò gbogbo ń tẹ́ ń ṣe lóru lọ́jọ́ pé mùsùlùmí ní ṣe ìṣọ́ òru tí tá a jẹ́ kẹ́lòmí ọ̀gbádùn ogún ó ti gbébọn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ló dé ẹ jẹ́ ká dúpọ̀ ọ̀gbádùn pẹ̀lú ariwo ẹ jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn ó sùn síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ náà ẹ̀rín yẹn sí nǹkankan tàwa mùsùlùmí àníkélẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Dókítà wa láti Èkìtì wọ́n ní kí a bá a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn inshallah àwọn dókítà wa Rọ́fíù láti Ọ̀yọ́ wọ́n lẹ́yìn lẹ́bàá aṣàdúrà ìparí torí pé ọjọ́ ti lọ àwọn èèyàn ti ń dé láti kírun gan we won't be able to take more than this ẹ ló máa lọ wo live lórí Aládìẹ TV I think on YouTube.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm using this medium to appreciate our fathers, our leaders, here seated for this press briefing. And I'm also using this medium to appreciate all the pressmen in the house for coming. And adúpẹ́ fún àwọn bàbá wa fún ìgbìyànjú yín lórí ẹ̀sìn. Ọlọ́run bá tí ó ti kún yín lọ́wọ́ látẹ̀yìn wa, á túbọ̀ máa kún yín lọ́wọ́. Wa inna jundana lahumul ghalibun. Òní sun yín, Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kó sun yín. Gbogbo yìí tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, Ọlọ́run náà mọ̀ sí, ṣùgbọ́n àdánwò ló jẹ́ fún wa. And lágbára Ọlọ́run, we are going to overcome it inshallah biqudratullah. As I used to say, Nigeria ó dà gẹ́gẹ́ bí bicycle ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ méjì ni. the Christians owns one of the will, the Muslim owns one of the will. But in as whatever thing gbìyànjú pé kí will kan kó má move, then àní move síwájú. So ẹ jẹ́ kí a tolerate ara wa, kí oníkúlùkù sin ẹ̀sìn ẹ̀ dáadáa. Àwa Mùsùlùmí Ọlọ́run ti fi yé wa pé lakum dinukum waliya din. Ẹlẹ́sìn mi náà fi tiwọn ṣe tiwọn. There is no compulsion in religion. Ọlọ́run aláàánú á ràn wá lọ́wọ́. We are not compelling anybody to join us or to do what we are doing, but let us do our own in the way Allah has us to do it. Ọlọ́run á ràn gbogbo wa lọ́wọ́. Ọlọ́run ní ṣe lè láṣẹ fún wa. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik.
Jazakumullahu khair. Dr. láti ìlú Ọ̀yọ́, ẹ̀yin lẹ́bàá aṣàdúrà. Wọ́n ní kí wọ́n máa ṣàdúrà parí ni. Ok, ẹ jọ.
Iṣẹ́ tèmi tó kò kí n ṣe wípé kí n ké sí àwọn àfáà wa, àwọn kan tí a mọ̀ láàfáà láwùjọ àwa mùsùlùmí, ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tí ó ń tako ọ̀rọ̀ ṣẹ̀ríà yìí. Ó rán mi létí ìrírí mi pẹ̀lú Wọlé Ṣóyínká lórí newsroom BBC ní London, tí wọ́n pè mí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ṣẹ̀ríà tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Katsina State nígbà náà lọ́hùn, tí mo ṣàlàyé, tí wọ́n wá play nǹkan tí Wọlé Ṣóyínká ti sọ tó sọ pé political ṣẹ̀ríà ni. Wọ́n wá bi mí léèrè pé kí ni mo rí sọ, professor kan láti Nàìjíríà náà nìyẹn o, professor bíi tiẹ̀. Mo ní Wọlé Ṣóyínká fíìdì ẹ̀kọ́ lélẹ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí. Ohun tí èèyàn bá mọ̀ nípa rẹ̀ kì í dá sí i. Ṣùgbọ́n mo wá ń bi ìwọ Wọlé Ṣóyínká, ọmọ Abẹ́òkúta ni ọ́, kí àwọn èèbó tó dé kán tó bí ọ wọ́n ti ń lo ṣẹ̀ríà ń bẹ̀. Ṣé political ṣẹ̀ríà náà nìyẹn náà? Làwa fi láti wá ké sí àwọn àáfàá, àwọn tá a mọ̀ láàfáà tí wọ́n ń tako ṣẹ̀ríà ní ìsinyìí, àwọn bàbá wa, àwọn tó bí wọn, àwọn tó kọ́ wọn, tó ń fi ṣẹ̀ríà kọ́ wọn, ṣé wọn ò mọ òdodo ni tí wọ́n fi ṣẹ̀ríà kọ́ wa wípé ojú ọ̀nà Islam lélẹ́yìí, bá a ṣe láti tọ̀nà rèé. Ká ránra wa létí tí Ọlọ́run bá sọ ní Suratul Baqara ayah 38, nígbà tó sọ fún ànábì Adam alayhi salam pẹ̀lú ìyàwó rẹ̀ pé ihbitu minha jami'a fa imma ya'tiyannakum minni huda faman tabi'a hudaya fala khawfun alayhim wala hum yahzanun. Orí ilẹ̀ ayé lẹ̀ ń lọ ni, you have never been there before. Ibi tí èèyàn ò lè rí kò lè mọ̀nà ń bẹ̀. Kẹ́ ẹ tó béèrè ọ̀nà, èmi ó fọ̀nà hàn yín, wọ́n sọ ìtọ́sọ́nà kalẹ̀ fún yín, guidance, map, manual, constitution. Àmọ́ tẹ́bí àwòdáyà ẹni yóò tí ó bá tẹ̀lé constitution lè tèmi yìí kò ní rí bànújẹ́, kò ní ṣàbámọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tí ò bá tẹ̀lé will have themselves to blame. Láfi wá ń ké sí àwọn àfáà tí wọ́n ń tako ṣẹ̀ríà kí wọ́n ronú dáadáa, nítorí pé Ọlọ́run bá ti kìlọ̀ fún àwọn tó ṣe pé yasudduna an sabilillah, àwọn tó dínà mọ́ àwọn tó fẹ́ ṣe tọ́lọ́run ọba. Kan dákun kí wọ́n ṣe jẹ́, kí wọ́n padà lọ wo alukur'an kan wo súnà. Gbogbo tá à ń sọ yìí nínú alukur'an àti súnà ló ti wá. Ẹni yóò tó bá ń tako ṣẹ̀ríà ó ń tako Ọlọ́run ọba ni. Ẹni yóò tí ó bá sì tako Ọlọ́run ọba, we have themselves to blame. Láṣẹ láti lo àǹfààní yìí láti dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ the Supreme Council, the Supreme Sharia Council, tí wọ́n rán wa létí tí wọ́n tawájí tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti tawájí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ti Sharia láti béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa lórí ọ̀rọ̀. So they have reminded us of the need to ask for our rights as Muslims to live our lives in accordance with the Sharia. And as I said earlier on, it is only those that are ignorant of the values of the Sharia that will oppose it. Imagine what's happening, imagine what would have happened in the past when people were opposing the implementation of Islamic banking. Non-Muslims were opposed to it. But when at last the Sharia banks established, most of the customers are non-Muslims because they benefit from it better than they do from the conventional banks. So we commend the National Sharia Council, the Supreme Sharia Council, for bringing up this matter again. Again, we're emphasizing the fact that it is not courts that we're asking for. It's the permission, the opportunity to operate arbitration according to the Sharia, by Sharia panels. Please spread the news. Let us live in peace by allowing others to live. You live and let live. Thank you very much for coming. May Almighty Allah guide us all aright and enable us together to live in peace and tranquility in Nigeria. We also want to take this opportunity to thank the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs under the leadership of the Sultan of Sokoto, the President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, for the support that the Council has given to the Supreme Sharia Council on this matter. We also want to thank the leadership of the Muslim Ummah of Southwest Nigeria, led by Alhaji Rasaki Oladejo, for the support they have given to the Sharia by the statements that they released quite recently. We want this message to spread, and the Almighty Allah enable us to live in peace and prosperity in Nigeria. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now the closing prayer. I will call on Dr. Abrofe from Oyo láti fún wa ní closing dua àti ọ̀rọ̀.
Closing prayer, come on, sir. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Dr. Bello Rafiu Adisa. I'm very sure that most of you have heard name before. Hi, here I am, Dr. Bello Rafiu Adisa, the chairman for the establishment of Sharia panel in Oyo Town. Sharia panel had been in existence in Ibadan, Osogbo, Ogbomoso, Kishi, Saki. We are going to have our own in Oyo Town. I'm using this platform to announce to everyone, most especially ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are going to have our own in Oyo Town. Because some of you have been calling me some weeks ago, we heard that you've cancelled the inauguration of Sharia panel in New York. I told them we've not cancelled it. We just postponed it till later date. When you'll be informed later, inshallah, we are going to have it. That is point number one. Point number two, Please, ladies and gentlemen of the press, be seriously warned. I want our fathers to warn them seriously. You know them, they are desperate. Please, whatever we are not saying here, don't write it. Whatever we are not saying here, don't write it. And don't ever use any bad image to spoil the image of Islam. They have done it before. They can put this information, they can place it on the front page and bring one image of sword, cutlasses, and so on and so forth. They've done it just to show that this is what Sharia means. Please, our fathers, make sure you warn them seriously. Whatever we are not saying here, they should not write it, and they should not use any bad image to portray Islam. Jazakumullah khairan. Ní ẹ̀kan sí kí n tó ṣe àdúrà parí, ìjókòó yìí a dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ fún àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀. Ó sì ṣe pàtàkì kí a fi tó yín létí pé mo rò pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ̀yin bàbá wa máa sọ pé ají ṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ láàárín, Ọ̀yọ́ ò ní ṣe bí bàbá ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan àfi bí Ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wọ́n ti ń ṣe Sharia ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ìlú Yorùbá tó sì jẹ́ pé South West yìí náà ni, ṣùgbọ́n ti Ọ̀yọ́ Aláàfin ló sọ di ariwo. Ó túmọ̀ sí pé ajíṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ kò láàrí. À ń fi àsìkò yìí sọ fún wa pé lílo Sharia panel àbí ní Sharia court ẹ̀tọ́ àwa mùsùlùmí South West ni. Báwọn mùsùlùmí tó wà ní northern part of the country báwọn náà ṣe ní, a sì gba gbogbo ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run. A gba gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀tọ́ yẹn pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run. Tá a bá fẹ́ jọ gbé papọ̀, we must have what we call tolerance, love and peace. Kẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan ó sì gba ẹ̀tọ́ tiẹ̀ láì ní dítẹ̀lómìn lọ́wọ́. In tí a wá announce níbí nìyẹn. A kí gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n wà ní ìjókòó yìí, kọ́lọ́n kó bá wa san wọ́n ní ẹ̀san olóore. Ní ìparí, a kí gbogbo àwọn ladies and gentlemen of the press, torí pé àwọn tó pọ̀ nínú wọn wọ́n ṣe dáadáa. Ìgbà tó ń gbọ́ information yẹn, wọ́n pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́yọ̀ọ́, a gbọ́ pé ẹ fẹ́ dá court sílẹ̀. I used to explain to them, we want to establish Sharia panel, not Sharia court, and there is the difference between the two. Màá dẹ̀ ṣàlàyé fún wọn. But unfortunate pé ìkànnù àwọn papers yẹn wọ́n gbé ní tí ò dáa jáde nípa tí à ń ṣe. Ọlọ́run kí ó bá wa tún ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wá ṣe. A kí gbogbo wa tí a wà ní ìjókòó yìí lónìí, kọ́lọ́run kí ó gba ìjókòó yìí ní ẹ̀sìn fún ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have interview for you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. A brief interview, sir.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. It is generally believed, sir, that the Afeniferes are representing the entire Yoruba race. And the like of you seems to be absent there. Why are you not among them, sir?
Afenifere, thank you very much. Afenifere does not represent the entire Yoruba people. They represent their clan.
How do you mean, sir?
I mean that they are there to bring down the Yoruba race. If you look at their exercises, last election, who did this, the leader of the head of
Obi of
who did he endorse?
Of Labour Party.
He endorsed Obi, who is an Igbo, because his mother, according to what people are saying, maybe his mother is Igbo or something like that.
They didn't vote for Tinubu, who happens to be from their tribe.
Yes. So what is the very that they are looking for the Yorubas? Huh?
Sir, but if the like of you is among them, will it be possible for them to
They will not allow us to be with them. They will never invite us to their meeting. What is the criteria? they are using that we don't have. But they know what they are doing. They just use the name of Yoruba, Afenifere, for Yorubas in order to drive home their operational operation.
The operational motive?
Yes, of raising themselves who are clique. Their number is not significant in Yoruba land. But they use the benefit of the Yoruba land for their own personal interest and their group interest. So they have not been able to do anything useful for the Yorubas. Look at the Oduduwa investment. Where is it today? They are the ones that were eating it till the time that they cannot develop it again. And this Yoruba land is the cream of Nigerian society.
Thank you, sir. We are very grateful.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Ẹ jẹ́ ń tọ̀ náà.
Okay, ó dẹ́ lókè ẹ lọ́dọ̀.
Baba.